I'm Jay Lightburn in a cemetery on the Wirral while my uncle, Roger Skinner, is buried. In 2015, he was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer and he died a mere 8 months later. It is now 2018, however, and as the third anniversary of his death approaches, I want to reflect upon this time, find out how my family and I remember him, and explore the real impact of losing a loved one to cancer. It's still a strange feeling coming back here and reading his name. There's Roger, my grandparents, my great aunt, and even at the top, my great grandparents. That's 7 lives there, almost 150 years worth of history. And coming back here and reflecting upon their lives and the times that they had really makes you wonder about the time that you're given on this earth and how you can impact the lives of those around you. You see, Roger was my uncle, my mum's brother, but he was much more like a father to me. He had no obligation to play this role, of course. That's just who he was, so caring and thoughtful. And that's now how I remember him. And I think how my siblings do too. But there's only so much that a gravestone can tell us about who a person really was. And that's why I'm so intrigued to speak to my family and find out how they remember Roger Skinner. So with this in mind, I'm travelling to the other side of the world, to my family home. In May 2015, Roger was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer. He went from what seemed like a really healthy and active man to suffering obvious symptoms like jaundice, exhaustion, and pain, and then the diagnosis of having 8 months to live. It shocked him and my family to the core. Unfortunately, however, other than palliative care, there was nothing that could be done, and over the next few months we watched helplessly as his health declined. Over the summer, although he was in pain and suffering from exhaustion, he managed to get out and about, but in September, the hospital visits got increasingly more frequent, and when he was admitted, it was for longer and longer each time. In November, however, he was admitted for the last time. During these days, I asked my family, Alison, Tom, and Mia, about how it felt seeing his health decline to such an extent, and when the time came, how it felt caring for him in his final few days.
He's on so much medication, really, he's lost consciousness.
He's critically ill, really. He's been deteriorating for a while. Everyone was very clear from the outset that this was a terminal disease. So there was no kind of hiding from what might happen. It was always certain. The upsetting thing, I guess, is that it seems like it's not Roger's time. He seems far too young. You hope that it will be a quick process and that the medications that he's on will do enough to keep him comfortable, pain-free, and not aware of what's happening to him.
It's very sad to see him like this because I know that he won't come home again. He'll never be the same Roger. But on the other hand, I'm pleased because he has had an awful lot of suffering, and if he doesn't feel pain now, then that's so much better.
I guess, yeah, it's probably a kind of thing now for a very quick death. I remember actually I called Mum that evening to see how Roger was doing, and I could hear, just she was in the hospital, and I could hear through the phone that what Roger's breathing sounded like. So I decided that I was going to drive back that night. I jumped in the shower, started getting my stuff together. Before I'd even got out of the door, I had a message to say that Roger had passed away.
It still shocks me, almost 3 years later, to see that footage. Of course, you don't want a loved one, a member of your family, to experience suffering, which is why on the 8th of December 2015, when Roger passed away, it was almost a strange relief to see him out of pain. He was 65 years old. After his death, I asked my family how they felt about losing their beloved brother and uncle, and how they were dealing with their own grief.
If someone had said that this time last year you wouldn't have your brother, I just wouldn't have believed it.
To be honest, I think it was harder when he was still alive, seeing him in the way he was. And then when he passed away, I think there is, I guess, it's a bit of relief, because you know he's not kind of suffering anymore.
He's still upset, he's still shocked. Just, I guess, very aware of the fact that others might be as well. And just a need to kind of be there for each other.
You think about all the good times you've had, and that does make you upset.
Life goes on, and Roger would be the first to say that. It's just hard not to see him in his house. It's hard. It's hard not to have him coming round here, just having a laugh and a joke. Just miss him quite a lot.
Experiencing the death of a loved one is one thing, but I think cancer is something completely different. It seems particularly cruel. It has a unique way of etching someone out, of reducing them to something completely different to the person that they were. Seeing someone lose their spark and their soul in such a painful, degrading way, losing a little bit of hope every single day, is a truly miserable thing. After our experience with losing Roger to cancer, my family shared their thoughts.
It's just a horrible disease that affects everyone in one way or another.
It's just so unfair that it can take somebody in the prime of their life, somebody who was so unselfish, so fit and so healthy. Cancer is just such a horrible, unforgiving disease.
Reflecting back almost 3 years later, I think what stands out most after the pain and heartbreak of losing a loved one is how special the memories are that we keep. When Roger died, amongst all of his possessions that he left behind were a collection of family photos that he treasured, some of which we'd never even seen before. A whole era of great memories that we shared together, and perhaps now most importantly, to remember the man who he really was.
That safety net of someone who could help you is gone.
He was just always caring. He was just always there when you needed him.
He was somebody that we didn't take for granted. We knew how special he was. I don't think he realised how special he was though. Somebody that we all loved and really irreplaceable.
When reflecting upon Roger's death, we also encounter the painful nature of losing a loved one to cancer. And if anything's become clear from this, is that those who we lose live on through the memories of those that they loved. It seems difficult not to become nostalgic when remembering a loved one who has passed away. We must all go through these experiences of loss, and after a period of grief, I think it pushes us, it shapes us to find meaning and purpose in the memories of those who have passed away. And I think eventually, their deaths teach us to find meaning and purpose in our own lives too, and the impact that we can have on our loved ones. As as I sit next to 3 generations of my family, almost 150 years worth of family history. This is where Roger Skinner's story ends. I'm Jake Lightburn, thanks for watching.
He'd probably say, stop your moping around and get on with life, I should think.